Hello and welcome to Atrocious Gameplay. This is going to be an interesting video today because, well, we're going to talk about anime because what else am I going to talk about? Now, for anyone who may not know on this channel, I am a relatively newer anime fan within the last like 7-ish, maybe 6 months, somewhere along that timeline. And honestly, I've been head over heels in it. I've been watching so much anime. I've been reading so much manga. It's consumed my life. And because we stream on Twitch, make videos on YouTube, all that stuff, have a Discord server, a lot of people are always asking me about the shows that I'm watching, how I'm liking them, what I plan on watching next, all that stuff. Now, before we go into it, I just want to say thank you so much for 400 subscribers on the channel. Now, tossing that aside, we're going to try to reach 500 because there's always a higher number, right? Anyways, I hope you like this video. I spent a lot of time making it. Well, you may be wondering, what the heck is this guy doing? Like, what is this video? This is going to be a couple things, so let's just go over them. First, this video specifically, this is going to be a series of videos. This first video is going to be catching you up on what I'm currently watching now in anime. Now, I'm going to tell you about all these animes too without, like spoiling anything, but telling you the drama, some of the plot, some comparisons, some anime similar to it if you want to either broaden your knowledge or want to try out something new. Does it run along with the manga if I've read some of the manga? And then also some ratings as we get into different episodes where I've actually finished shows. Now, as I mentioned, the first episode, this one right here, is going to be what I'm watching now. Most of all the shows are ones that are currently airing, releasing on a weekly basis. Now, just fair warning, I am not responsible for any recommendation you do not like. That is your fault, not mine. Don't kill the messenger. Okay, so we're going to talk about the first anime here. It is not a new anime. This originally aired in 2010. It is called Angel Beats. Now, if you've never seen Angel Beats before, or never heard of it like I have before somebody recommended it to you, it is about this character named Ota. I'm so bad with Japanese names. Otanashi waking up in the middle of wherever, unsure where they are. They've got amnesia, but all they know is that they died. Soon after he makes this realization, he meets this character on the right. Her name is Yuri. Now, Yuri is the leader of the Afterlife Battlefront, which wages a war against a character named Tenchi, who is this character on the left here. Now, the setting of all this is kind of based almost like in a purgatory world. Nobody's actually dying during this war. It's just when you get shot or cut up or whatever, you just kind of go to sleep for a little bit. Now, this anime can be put in several different categories, including action, comedy, drama, school, supernatural. And it's not very long, honestly. It's a pretty short series that you can binge in one Saturday or Sunday or whatever day off you have of work or school or whatever you do with your life, because I like anime. I don't have a social life. It's only 13 episodes long. Now, at the time of this recording, I'm on episode 4. Probably by the time this airs, I'll probably, I don't know, stay up till like 4 a.m. watching some of this anime. But anyways, even though I'm early on, the storyline seems kind of interesting, and I'm also kind of curious how Otanashi's interest in Tenchi kind of meshes together. And without spoiling anything, I'll just leave it at that. Now, I do want to say I have not read the manga for this. Again, this was just a recommendation given to me by a friend on a whim. Wanted something else to watch that wasn't like airing on a weekly basis. And if you want to watch this too, it's relatively easy to find because the series is 11 years old now. You can find it on Crunchyroll, Netflix, Funimation, Amazon Prime Video, and YouTube. I think for YouTube and Amazon, you need like subscriptions to like the Red and the Prime Video in order to do that. I will say though, even though I'm 3 episodes in, the fight scenes in here are pretty good. I think the animation is actually pretty well done so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of the series has to offer. Now, if you have seen Angel Beats, or maybe you want to watch something similar to Angel Beats, you need another option. Here are some recommendations that I got for you. One is Assassination Classroom. That's this one on the right. I've already seen Assassination Classroom. I'll go over how I feel about that show, overall, that anime, in another video, but I felt like that Assassination Classroom actually had a lot of inspiration from Angel Beats. I felt a lot of similarities, at least in the beginning of Angel Beats, where the plot is like killing something, but during then maybe there are some changes to the ulterior motives or plans or whatever. But I thought Assassination Classroom was great. I highly recommend it to anybody. That it did make me cry as well. As you all get to know me, a lot of these animes are going to make me cry. Now, the other one here on the left is one that I haven't seen, but I saw a lot about online that runs similar with Angel Beats, and that is called Charlotte. Now, this is also in a school setting, much like Assassination Classroom and then also Angel Beats. And a lot of people put these two similarities together because the children in Charlotte, the students, the classmates, they are all way more mature than the average person and then have supernatural themes. So that's kind of like even in an Assassination Classroom as well. Like they all three have this triangle of the same formula. They just go in a different direction and do it a different way. Now we'll get into the next anime that I'm watching. This is my Monday anime, which is To Your Eternity. Now this is a new airing one. We're getting into the airing animes now. They're released every single week. This one is about an orb called It. Now, It was sent to Earth in order to, broadly speaking, without trying to really spoil or anything, collect information. And it's also able to change forms based on the different beings it encounters, with what is called reflection. If you look at like the back of the novel or the DVD or, you know, the description thing. Soon after It arrives on Earth, It meets this boy and then starts the immortal's journey experiencing humanity. And it's really good in my opinion. I've really enjoyed this. The categories that it can be in: adventure, drama, supernatural, as a shonen anime. Now, as I said, this is my Monday anime right now, and it's pretty deep into its first season. The first season is planned to have 20 episodes, 20, so a good chunk of episodes, I would say. And right now, there are 17 released episodes, so if you want something to binge right now and catch all the way up, and still have time for like a couple weeks of excitement and entertainment and anticipation, this is a good one to pick up on, in my opinion. As of right now, this anime is very emotional. This thing is very driven. And once you kind of find out more about it and the orb and like what it's supposed to be doing and stuff, it just adds to that tension, emotion. And like the characters are really cool in my opinion, because each character has like their small arc that it comes across, and like it even though it has this small arc, like it into the main story very well in my opinion. It's just a really well written. Now, I don't know how canonically this is following the manga. I don't know if it's really straight away or anything like that. I didn't want to spoil myself or whatever googling that, but I have not read the manga for this. It is on my list to eventually get, but as of right now, if you want to watch it, you only can go to Crunchyroll. Now, if you like To Your Eternity, or maybe it sounds good to you and maybe you don't have Crunchyroll, maybe you have some other things, I would check out these other animes as well. Now, the one on the left here, Mushi, say that 5 times fast. Mushi is also a mysterious traveler, always on the move, but a little different than To Your Eternity. This character right here, this main guy right here, trying to understand the unknown Mushi life forms, where in comparison in To Your Eternity, the orb is the unknown life form, trying to find other known life forms, I guess, known in that as. Now we're going to be breaking the fourth wall. The other one over here on the right is called Wandering Witch. Now, Wandering Witch is a journey of a wandering witch. Now, this is a journey that doesn't really specifically have an end, just like just going. And along the way, Elena, the Wandering Witch, is just finding all kinds of things in people and experiencing different things. Now, this one, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I tweet about this anime just about every single freaking week. Now, this anime is called The Great J Will Not Be Defeated. And if you do not know what this is, it's relatively new. Jay, who is this character right here, is second in command in the demon realm, feared by all the monsters beneath her. She's very intimidating, she's beautiful, like she's strong, but all of a sudden the demon realm was attacked by this mysterious girl and absolutely destroyed. And in the destructions, the power source of the demon realm, the mana crystals, were spread out, broken, just shot everywhere. And Jay ends up finding herself on Earth, and her goal then from that moment on to what I assume is going to be the rest of the anime is to collect the crystals, survive, and restore the demon realm. Now, this is a little bit different than the other shows that I featured because this is a comedy. Even though it is still supernatural, it is a comedy in the shonen world right now. Again, it's relatively new and actually just released its 3rd episode on Saturday. Just yesterday, I actually watched it. Today, no, it's past midnight. night. It's not, it's yesterday. But episodes air and release on Saturday, so you can look forward to that. There are 20 episodes planned in the first season, so there's still plenty of time to get acclimated. You know, it's very, I mean, you take an hour to catch up and then all of a sudden you're up to date. And although as of right now, because it's so new, it's kind of hard to say, like, you know, about the plot and how it's evolving, because we still got a long way to go. But I've really enjoyed it so far. I think it's very goofy. I think it's funny, and just the characters I think are pretty good. I like it a lot. I'm looking forward to how the rest of this turns out. I have, though, gotten into the manga. I actually own and have read the first volume of the manga, which I'm going to go over a little bit more in a later episode video, potentially, if we talk about manga. I don't know. But as of right now, where the anime is with the manga English released, it seems like it's been pretty streamlined, like same thing, I would say. The next volume of the manga comes out at the end of the month, I believe August 31st. So we'll just have to give an update on that. If you want to watch this, you can watch it on Crunchyroll, as most of the other ones. But if you want to watch the first episode for free with not the horrendous ads that Crunchyroll has, you can watch it on YouTube. If you look up Crunchyroll Collections YouTube page, they have the first episode of The Grey Jay Will Not Be Defeated. It's a pretty good way to, like, see if you maybe will like the anime or not. Now, you need something similar. You watch the first 3 episodes and you're like, well, I want more of something like this. I got some good recommendations for you. The first one is probably like one of my favorite animes as of right now. It's definitely like in my top 5 of all time, and it is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Now, this is a personal recommendation, a similar anime by me, and they're both comedies that involve supernatural things, and it pulls unlikely characters together. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is a great comedy. It's very heartwarming. It just gives me a good feeling like every time I watch it. And we'll actually go over this anime later in the video because it's actually airing as well. But for the next one, I actually haven't seen this next anime that's right next to it. It's called The Demon Girl Next Door. Now, even though I haven't seen it, I've heard a lot of good things about it. The animes have similar approaches to their style of comedy and character writing as well. And also, I've heard a lot of people say that The Demon Girl Next Door actually puts a really interesting puts an interesting twist on like the mystical girl genre. Now, I'm not 100% sure what mystical girl genre means, but maybe some of you bigger anime, longer time anime fans know exactly what that means. Anyways, I'm moving on. Now, some of y'all make fun of me in Discord and on Twitter about this. And you know what? Maybe you should make fun of me for loving this show. But this show is called Girlfriend, and this, I look forward to this every week as well. Now, in summary, childhood friends Nayo and Saki finally start a relationship after knowing each other for such a long time. But soon after, Nagisa, who's over here, gives a confession to Nayo, a confession of love. If you don't really know, like, confessions, in Japan, it's very common for someone confesses like, oh, I like you, or oh, I love you, you want to date, whatever. It's called a confession. You see it in a lot of slice of life and romance animes, which I've been binging lately. Now, Noyo, he is a genuine good dude. He is in the best interest for everybody. He never wants to hurt anybody ever. He's always thinking about the other person. And with that, he really doesn't want to hurt Nagisa by rejecting her, even though he's, you know, in the relationship with Saki. Noyo takes it to himself to ask Saki, hey, are you okay with me two-timing and, you know, dating both you and Nagisa? And even though there was a little bit of hesitance there, Saki ended up saying, all right, let's go. And so this anime is the story of this trio in a relationship. I don't think though that Saki is necessarily in a relationship though with Nagisa. That's my understanding of it. But categories include harem, obviously, comedy, romance. It's a school because these are high school students in the shonen world. Now, this is currently airing on Fridays. You will see me tweet it as Girlfriend Friday. And as of right now, they're a little bit farther than halfway. There's 12 episodes planned for the first season, and there are 7 episodes that have aired at the time of this recording. Now, I'm going to assume, this is just my assumption here, that there's going to be another season, a second season of this anime, because 7 episodes in, we don't really know this girl as the girlfriend. We know of this girl, but we don't know her as the girlfriend. So I'm like, I'm waiting on that to happen. But anyways, overall thoughts. When I first, so this is my first harem anime. When I thought harem anime, this didn't fit what I stereotypically thought, and boo me for being stereotypical and thinking the stereotypes, but I didn't know what else to go off of. This is not very like sex oriented. Like, this is not hentai. I'm just gonna blatantly say that this is not hentai. The comedy is very much in this and very, very apparent. There are so many parts where you not only laugh because it's just funny and it's just good written, but also laughing that super awkward, like, like, there's so many parts where you have both of those together in this anime. It's so enjoyable and I love it so much and I look forward to it every single week. I highly encourage you to all try it especially if you need a laugh. I will say though, debate down in the comments with me. Nagisa, the cutest girl, all right, she is cuter than a button, but you got to give the best girl award to Saki. Saki is the one putting up with all this. How is she? Is she expanded, open-minded? Her brain went out of her comfort zone. She's the best girl. Now, in terms of the manga, there's no English physical manga yet that you can go get at the stores or whatever. You can read it online if you want, and I assume it's probably going to reach the US eventually, I would think. Maybe, hopefully. And if you want to watch it, I'm sorry to say, but your only option, once again, is Crunchyroll. Now, this is where I meant when I put the disclaimer of like, I am not responsible for bad recommendations. This was really hard to find recommendations because I had never seen a harem anime, but I did find two that kind of closely relatively fit the bill. One being We Never Learn. Now, this is a school setting anime similar to Girlfriend, so that is already a +1. And +2, it's a male MC who is just trying to find the best interest of the women and just like trying to do the best for them. But from the description that I read, it gives off a different style than Girlfriend that actually makes me kind of want to watch it. The other one is Yurusei Yatsura. I probably botched that up. This is a older anime. This is a little bit older style. I don't know where you could actually find and watch this. Probably relatively easily. But this recommendation, this comparison, the similarity, little bit of a stretch. The male MC here is completely different than Nayo and Girlfriend. He is a womanizer, but somehow in this he is given the predicament of having to marry the alien lady in order to save the world. But after his marriage, he continues to strive for his own harem, his ultimate goal. So I don't know if that interests you, but if you like, I don't know, just try it out, see how it is. Now, here we go. This is the cream of the crop right here, in my opinion. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Now, this is specifically S because Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S is airing right now. We'll get to that in a little bit. But for anyone who doesn't know what this is, Kobayashi, which is this red-haired character right here, wakes up one morning and finds a dragon outside of her apartment. And come to find out, it's actually a dragon that she saved the night prior when she got really, really drunk. Now, the dragon being Toro, this cute character right here, this blonde. Toro, being saved, debts her life to Kobayashi and strives to be the greatest maid in existence of the human universe and any other universe in that fact. And you may be wondering why Maid? Well, let's just say Kobayashi, when she got really drunk and was saving Toru, mentioned how she really, really likes maids. The dragon's arrival brings a lot of joys and complications throughout this series, and it's just super, super fun in my opinion. This fits into 3 major categories of anime, including slice of life, comedy, and fantasy. Now, it's currently airing on Wednesdays. There are 6 episodes at the time of this recording. The first season had 13 episodes, but the second season, what I'm kind of talking about right now, I don't believe this character shows up until the second season. That's why I put this picture here. There are 12 episodes planned, so about halfway through into the second season. And honestly, thoughts so far, the second season, I'm going to try to focus this more on the second season because I'm eventually going to be creating a video on animes that I have finished. But with some of these slice of life animes, a lot of people are usually worried that like they're going to be the same thing repeated over and over again, episode, season after season. The second season of Kobayashi's Dragon Maid actually feels different. It feels unique, but it also kind of feels the same. Like, it just has a new twist in it, and the second season has a lot more twists that give a lot more in-depth to the story, the background of the characters, and overall new adventures, which is just super enjoyable in my opinion. And honestly, every episode I watch, every single week I'm watching Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, I always have a smile on my face after the end of the episode. It's just so cute, it's just so good, it's just so fun. Also, the very first intro song, I would play this, but then also I would get a copyright claim. So this song right here, Rhapsody of Blue Sky, quite possibly the best intro song I've heard in anime yet. I actually kind of want to make a video, best intro songs I've heard in anime. I think that would actually be really cool. Now, I'm about to start reading the manga. If you actually see right here, I usually put on my bookshelf, whether it's this or there, depending on if I'm on YouTube or Twitch, what book I'm actually reading as of right now. So I'm about to start reading, probably right after I finish recording this video, I'm gonna start reading Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Name. So stay tuned to see if the manga kind of fits in with the anime. Now, if you want to watch this, there are a couple places that you can. You can watch it on Crunchyroll, Funimation. You can get it on Amazon Prime Video if you've got Prime. And then also you can watch the first episode on YouTube with Crunchyroll Collection, similar to The Great J earlier. So I highly recommend to go check that out. Now, there are a couple that I recommend alongside it that are similar. The first one, though, is kind of interesting. It's my personal recommendation. It's what it kind of reminds me of, except for the fact that I actually haven't seen this anime. I've only been reading the manga of this, but I know that there's an anime out there, and I've been seeing some of the anime clips. This show, My Ordinary Life, which is this one on the left here, is my personal recommendation. I think this manga has been hilarious. I'm only 2 volumes in. It's one of the funniest combinations of short stories that I have read so far up to this point. It is so good. I love it so much. And then also, what the heck is this cover with the deer? Like, that's the epitome of this manga. Now, this anime right here, My Ordinary Life, Nichijou, I'm not 100% sure how to say it. That's why I say My Ordinary Life. It's a lot less of the love fantasy aspect that Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid brings, but it's full-fledged on the short story, adventures, funny, like make you laugh instantly type deals. Now, the other one over on the right, which is The Devil is a Part-Timer, I've actually heard a couple people recommend this one, and I've talked very, very highly of this anime. This anime dives into that fantasy aspect that Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid brings, but this one relates to Satan. I know how some of y'all like Satan, but it has plenty of comical moments of its own to make it a very enjoyable experience that is highly touted within the anime community. All right, here we got Peach Boy Riverside. Now, Peach Boy Riverside, if you do not know, is an anime where a world of magical humans and demi-humans actually hate each other. Demi-humans, monsters, interchangeable words. Princess Sally, the girl here in the middle, sets out on a personal adventure, a quest to find someone named Mikoto. Now, she's a princess, she's been in the castle and stuff, you know, not really experiencing the real world, but once she steps out in the real world, saves this demi-human Frau, we'll go with Frau, and befriends her on the travels. Sally starts to find out the prejudices and the tension between both monsters, demi-humans, etc., and humans. But that's not the only thing that she's finding out about her. Leave that at that. The categories of this anime include fantasy, adventure in this shonen anime, and it's currently airing on Thursday, so this is my Thursday anime. There are currently 6 episodes that have aired so far at the time of this recording, and there are 12 planned for the first season. So we are already halfway through this first season. I assume that there are going to be more seasons. Now, thoughts so far. This is going to be really weird to say, but this is my least favorite of the list that we have in this video. Now, that is not to say that this anime is bad. I think this anime is good, but I don't think this anime is great. Then again, we're only halfway through. Maybe it's just a slow start. Maybe it really picks up at the end. I'm not 100% sure. It feels like a good watch, though. If you're really if you've seen it all, you've seen all these different things, maybe you just want something to watch. boom, this is a good option. I enjoy this. I just don't enjoy it as much as like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid or Girlfriend, Tokyo Revengers, which we'll get to later. I will say though, the fight scenes with Sally, kind of spooky. The animation in the fights also in this anime is really, really good. I have not read the manga for this though, but if you want to watch it for yourself, it's on a couple different places like Crunchyroll, Funimation, Amazon Prime Video, and also on YouTube. You can watch some of the episodes, but I think it's just people like randomly uploading, which is not legal, but you can still watch it and be totally fine. I'm not going to tell you where it is. You can find that for yourself, but do what you want. Now, after some research, here are some animes that are very similar to Peach Boy Riverside. The first one over here on the right is called Overlord. Now, there's someone I watch on TikTok. I'm sorry that I don't know their name, but they constantly claim that Overlord is the greatest anime to ever exist in the history of anime. And it gives a very similar plot line of the main character goes from pretty weak to like incredibly OP. And it's also got a similar fantasy aspect with magical beasts, demi-humans, etc., etc. If you couldn't tell by skeleton, lord, and scary mouth things. This other one on the left, I actually haven't heard much about. I've seen it once or twice in like the Crunchyroll ads, but I haven't clicked on it yet because I've been watching everything else. It's called I've Been Killing Slimes for Over 300 Years. Now, in terms of similarities, this one ups Overlord in the MC weak to OP conversation because, well, if this is a female main character. Overlord, I'm pretty sure, is a male character. But also in the slime anime, the main character takes in a non-human friend and becomes a friend, not a foe. So similar to how Sally befriended Fro. Now, staying on the conversation of slimes, we go over to what I consider is the best slime anime. Might be also the only slime anime I've seen so far. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. The very, very highly regarded anime right now. This anime is about a regular dude, just some regular Joe Schmo, you know, on the streets, single, you know, loves his work life, loves anime, etc. It's literally me. I'm being attacked. But one day this MC gets stabbed and he dies as he's saving someone. And when he dies, he is reincarnated in a video game-like system as a slime, which is considered one of the weakest monsters in this new world that the main character is reincarnated into. And so the journey goes of Rimuru Tempest, which is the slime's name eventually, bringing all monsters together, as you can kind of see right here, and trying to get humans and monsters to work alongside each other. Now, the categories of this anime include action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, and is an isekai anime. And honestly, I don't think those categories even cover all of it. Now, this is currently my Tuesday anime, and it's halfway through this segment of its release schedule. And what I mean by that, I'm going to need you to buckle up, take your notes. We're going to have to do some math. So 6 episodes have aired right now in this segment. There are 12 episodes, so we're about halfway through this part of the show. But overall, season 1 had 24 episodes in it. Season 2 also has 24 episodes in it. You may be wondering, Jake, you said 12 earlier. Well, right now is season 2 part 2. I don't know why they do these in these part 1 part 2s, but whatever. Attack on Titan, I'm looking at you. So currently it is 3/4 of the way through season 2 and halfway through part 2 of season 2. But anyways, more of what I think about the anime. This is probably like the only anime that can get me to care about politics and filler episodes. This anime recently just had like 3 straight episodes of a single meeting, and it was still very good episodes in my opinion. It was wild, and the show, what it does with the politics is actually really, really cool, because you don't really see in the animes that I've seen the rulers actually like talk about the politics of like, okay, my nation wants to negotiate with you in terms of like alliances. How is that going to impact the rest of the area, you know, other nations and things like that. It's actually quite interesting. And honestly, it seems like it has a lot of genres in it. You know, I feel like it has an aspect of slice of life, even though I don't know what I'd relate to it. I just get this feeling deep down. You know, romance, there is a love portion of this show, which is kind of interesting. It is funny. It's got some quick jokes got some quirks. Some of the characters are really entertaining, and I would even consider it a drama with its political aspects. It also has some really good animation in its fight scenes and stuff, and is actually incredible. I'm going to go over more in depth about season 1 and what I liked about it, some great things, my rating and stuff in a future video. But for now, season 2, I would say, is following up pretty well. Now, for this, I have read some of the manga, but only the first 2 volumes, so still very early. And as of right now, in the first 2 volumes, it seemed to stay pretty in line with how season 1 was going, so that's a good sign. If you want to watch this for yourself, I got more instructions for you. If you want to watch all of it, get all the way up to date, go to either Crunchyroll or Amazon Prime Video. If you don't care about staying all the way up to date, maybe you just want to watch it, I would go over to Funimation and YouTube. You can watch everything up to season 2 part 2. So I think probably once season 2 part 2 finishes, you'll be able to watch it on those platforms. Now, here are a couple animes that I have found that are similar and recommend over to you. One is I'm a Spider, So What? So this anime on the right here is that anime. It's a Crunchyroll original. So this is actually kind of interesting. I think this is the first Crunchyroll original that I'll be recommending to you. The main character in this is reincarnated, similar to how Rimuru Tempest was, as a low-level monster. And in this show as well, it also combats political powers, and like the MC continues to level up, get stronger for all the isekai fans out there. I've heard really good things about it. The other one, though, I actually haven't heard before, and researching similar animes was the first time I've ever heard of this. It's called No Game, No Life. I think this takes more of the video game style stuff that Slime has, where the MCs, they don't actually die and they're not reincarnated. They're more like transported. I don't know. So William Afton Five Nights at Freddy's, his spirit is like in the video game. I don't know. And in here, in this video game, they've got to band together to take down the evil ruler and become the leaders themselves, similar to Slime, how they kind of need to come together to defeat the evil entity. Now, this anime might take the cake for my like weekly series that I got on this video. This is Tokyo Revenger. Now, Takamichi, this guy right here, he's just a normal dude, finds out that his ex-girlfriend one day, Hinata, was killed in an accident involving gang violence over in downtown Tokyo. All of a sudden, I don't really even know like how this came up, but all of a sudden he found himself transported back 12 years ago to middle school. Throughout going back and forth from 12 years ago in the past to the present, or is that in the future? I don't know what the actual present is, but teams up with Hinata's younger brother in order to go back in time and do certain things to prevent the tragedy of Hinata's death via gang violence. This story is absolutely incredible. It fills the categories of action and drama incredibly well and incredibly in depth. They're currently airing on Saturdays. This is a nice Saturday afternoon anime that you can watch. There's 19 episodes that have already released. There's 24 planned for the first season, so you can go ahead, catch up on the hype for the ending of like the arc that we're just about to come across. And honestly, this is probably the most intense anime that I've watched. I don't know if I've ever sweat so much during some of these moments in this anime. It does a really good job of bringing out the intensity, bringing anticipation, literally putting you on the edge of your seat, and then boom, gotta wait till next week. And then also it does this thing where sometimes you forget the whole reason that Takamichi is like going back in time. You forget Hinata's character entirely. But I think the anime is trying to do that at certain points. So it doesn't, in my opinion, like take away from the overall story and how I feel about the anime. Now, there's no physical English manga yet. You can read the series online though if you want. I know a lot of people, there's even like fan-made books, how they like print out the English manga into like fan-made book styles that you can actually buy that actually look really good. And if you want to watch this, I'm sorry, but your only option is Crunchyroll. Now, if you want something like Tokyo Revengers, I got a couple options for you, including a top 3 anime of mine all time. That is Erased right here next to me. Erased is a 1-season isekai wonder that really just kind of, from what I understand, took the anime world by storm. The story and emotion of the MC right here trying to save this girl that was kidnapped when they were kids and killed really goes a long way into what is a beautiful story. It's less about gang violence, so there's no gang violence in this anime right here, but it is intense and it is phenomenal anime to binge if you've got nothing to do on a Saturday, Sunday, or whatever day. Now the other one right here, this one, Ikebukuro Westgate Park, probably said that wrong, is the opposite of Erased, where it is super intense with gang violence and literally doesn't have anything to do with an isekai, I think. This anime showcases gang violence and like power dynamic struggles in Tokyo between these gangs, and really also it comes down to saving someone else. So a very good show that I've heard. I'm actually kind of interested in it, especially when Tokyo Revengers season 1 ends. I'm gonna be like, I need more gang violence. I mean, actually, forget I ever said that. That shouldn't be a sentence that you should say out loud. You know what I mean though. Now this one we got right here, the case study of Benitez. This is an interesting anime in my opinion. This is a story about Noe, I think. I still don't know how to pronounce this character's name, but he's a vampire and he's set out to research about the Book of Benitez, which in history is a legendary mythical book that was created by the Blue Moon clan to destroy vampires. Now, very early on in the season and in the show, he meets Benitez himself and comes to find out that Benitez is actually trying to save vampires using the Book of Benitez to cure vampires of what is being called curse bearers. So the categories of this anime include fantasy, historical, I think this is our first historical, and then supernatural in the shonen world. This is also currently airing on Fridays, so Friday night when you're like me and you don't have anything to do because you don't hang out with anybody and you're a loser and you're all alone, you just want to watch anime, another one to add to your list. There are currently 7 episodes that have currently aired in this series right now. There's 12 planned for season 1, and honestly right now, I think this anime does a pretty good job at mixing in a lot of different aspects of things. Like there's intensity in these dangerous situations, there's some building up of these things of meeting characters, there's depth in story of these characters, there's comedy in here, there's some funny things, there's some also pretty horn dog moments. But similar to some of the other animes that we've touched on so far, it is overcoming a friend and a foe coming together to become friends, overcoming a foe that you wouldn't usually think are friends because of like prejudices. You know, humans and vampires don't necessarily get along super well. I've not read the English manga for this, but I've heard that the Japanese manga has like 50 volumes, so as long as this is doing relatively well, I think it'll continue past season 1. And if you want to watch this is a little bit different. You don't have to have Crunchyroll for this. You can go to Hulu, Funimation, or Amazon Prime Video. Let's go over the recommendations, some similarities of this anime. I'm going to start off with the right first because I'm sure a lot of you have seen the left and you're like, wait a minute, hold on, Jake, red flags, sirens going everywhere. Blood Blockade Battlefront. Say that 5 times fast in the comments. Blood Blockade Battlefront. I can barely say it twice slow. Now, both of these plots compared to each other, they're pretty similar. You know, young protagonists get a powerful inheritance, and you know, there's good comedic mashes in there. You know, there's some, even though it's not necessarily a comedy, there's some moments where you actually kind of laugh at some of the things that they say and do. I've not personally seen Blood Blockade Battlefront myself, but it looks pretty sweet. I mean, the art in this poster itself is kind of cool. The other one, Peach Boy Riverside. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Jake, you literally just said this was the least favorite on your list. I'm going to tell you to hold your horses. I'm going to tell you back it on up, and I'm going to tell you sit down, put out your notes. Look, I know I said that this was my least favorite on the list, but hear me out. 1, I backed it up by saying it's still good. Also, both have a main character and a companion that are unlikely teammates per se, because their two species don't necessarily get along nifty. Now, both of them fight out an evil separate entity to try to create peace among the world, But truthfully, case study is just better because it gives me feelings. Take that for what you will. I'm not going to explain that any further. But what I will say is if you made it this far, seriously, congratulations. I'm impressed with you. This is a long video. Did not intend for it to be this long. I mean, I just like talking about anime. So if you enjoyed the video as well, leave a like, subscribe. We recently reached 400 subscribers here on YouTube. Thank you so much. That, and now we're on our way to 500, and I'm actually working to create the next anime video. And honestly, just like my friend here from One Punch Man is scribbling and writing, I'm going to be doing that as well. I think it's going to be a multi-part series, trying to catch you up to the 30 plus animes that I've watched in the last 6 to 8 months. Maybe I'll do some manga videos as well. Who knows? I've read some manga and I really enjoy reading manga, so leave some recommendations about what I should watch or what I should read in the comments below. Now here's the real test. If you really love me, go check out these videos up here. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I really don't. I mean, you could. Or you could just leave a like, you could watch it, you could laugh, you could have a good time, and we could be best friends. Sounds like a good deal. Anyways, wave bye to this mummy. I'll see you later.